Welcome back, Hearties. Today on When Calls the Heart, we talk about the Season 4 premiere, the Christmas special. Don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes! Let us sing. Welcome back, Hearties. Here we are. We are back once again. I'm so incredibly excited to be here again.
Yay!
Yes! We had, so good. Welcome back, Hearties. We're here.
Welcome back.
Season 4 premiered the Christmas special. Once again, we're all here. I am your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. To my left, of course.
Hi, I'm Maria Provenzano. You can find me at Maria Provenzano on Twitter, and all my information will be there.
And for those who are returning, we know that we have 3 people usually on the panel. But there's only 2 of us physically here in the studio.
Physically.
But you can definitely hear that's the laugh of James Lott Jr. Skyping in. Hello, James.
Oh my God!
Who looks like an angel.
You do.
Like with his lighting.
I am an angel. I'm wearing Christmas colors and everything. Hi, you guys. I'm James Lott Jr. You know who I am. And you can follow me at James Lott Jr. all over the universe. I'm on an undisclosed location on the road. So.
Yes, I didn't get the memo about wearing Christmas attire, by the way. I'm in black.
It's okay.
Dang it.
I know.
I feel Christmassy after watching this.
Well, I know. Marissa's in red, too.
Yeah, it's a red surge. That is my attempt at red surge. But the Christmas special, we're here. I'm so excited. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the live chat. We will be following along with our conversation. And, of course, where to start it, overall impressions. Maria, let's start with you.
Okay, let me get my notes. I was in the chat. So overall impressions, of course, I mean, this is like the epitome of what we love about the Hallmark Channel and Christmas. It's When Calls the Heart, Christmas.
Yes.
I mean, what else could we ask for? Well, actually, what else I could have asked for is a proposal, but I'm not going to go there. No,
Not with this episode.
Yeah, I know. So overall, I mean, obviously, the overall need for community and the whole, of course, meaning of Christmas. It's about people, it's not about things, and it's about emotions, and it's not about presents, you know? Mm-hmm. And really, for me, was the quote that stuck out from Sam the Peddler is finding your star. And he says that when the pastor, you know, gets basically all the information, and we'll get into it, but gets the information he needs. And when he says it, he goes, well, I guess the pastor found his star after all. And I was just like, that's sort of, to me, the whole meaning behind it, like what is your star, and what was driving each separate person to like what was their star in this episode, and that sort of like trickles into our lives. We're finding your star and finding your signs and finding all of those things that speak to you. So that was my overall impression.
Yes, James, how about you? What were your thoughts?
Okay, kids, you know how I do. I break it down. I apologize for lying to you guys. I had an issue before, and just kind of I feel like I'm just like this fuzzy angel. I'm feeling okay. So
soft glow, you are, James. You have a soft glow.
Okay, so here's the deal. So, like Maria, I actually picked a quote that to me sums up kind of this episode and my life recently. And it was when Abigail talks to Frank. And actually, the scene made me cry. I cried this year. And Abby says, well, my dad used to tell me that we're all soldiers. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We fight the good fight, and that's all that matters. And that, just saying that, that's what these episodes were about. It had heart, romance, humor, intrigue, community, Christmas, faith, loss of faith. I said it last season. It was like comfort food. We know these characters now, and they're part of our lives, and we kind of know how they're going to react to things, what they're going to say. Also, I thought was very interesting, as usual, overall, can a woman do it all?
Yes.
Right?
That was a major theme on this episode. Can a woman do it all? And that's like today, that's still prevalent today. And I was just very excited.
Yes, and the answer is yes.
Yes, and I can't wait to get into that.
Yes, I really loved this episode because, James, I thought of you when I was watching this episode, that the whole sense of community. And we definitely saw that, and everyone coming together, helping each other, not because they felt like they had to or they were obliged, they had the obligation to help each other, it's because they wanted to. And we'll definitely get into it, but you saw everyone just literally come together because they loved each other so much. They cared about each other's happiness and well-being, and they truly just genuinely cared for each other. And I really love that, and that's what I took out of really the whole episode.
Yeah. Selflessness, and that's really what Christmas is supposed to be about, and what religion and the reason we celebrate Christmas, it's that selflessness.
Yes.
Really.
And also, what's really interesting overall was that the actors just seemed so more just relaxed.
They did.
They
I agree with you.
It doesn't seem like that.
I can't wait to tell you what my favorite scene is.
We'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. But let's start it really off, all of this off with the peddler. We had this Sam comes into town. The peddler on his way.
Santa Claus.
Or some of the kids thought he was Santa Claus. But Sam Bailey, the peddler, on his way to Union City. What were your first quick thoughts of Sam? Did you trust him, or like were you kind of wary of another new person in the town? What were your thoughts on him?
Well, I think because it was the Christmas special, I knew there was going to be some kind of symbolic, is it a Santa thing? Is it a saint thing? Santa, saint. And then is it an, angelic type of thing? Like, what is it? So, and I feel like I still don't know the answer. I know it was something of that nature, but it was sort of that, like, he was there for, that sort of reason. But I don't know, I guess it's one of the two. But, no, yeah, I had a couple of moments where I questioned him a little bit, like when he drank from his own little bottle and he said he didn't have any moonshine, stuff like that. So I had my moments where, like, oh, they're messing with us a little bit. What do you think, James?
I had a feeling he was going to be the mythical figure that brings everybody together. I just had this feeling when he popped in, when they first saw him in the forest, and then when he popped in with the dog and everything. I'm like, he's going to be that mythical figure that kind of brings the town together and connects the dots, which is what he did. So I guess to answer your question, Marissa, I did trust him. I was like, he's going to work it out, and he did. He did for the whole town.
He did. I mean, for once, I didn't really question him or his motives for a new person coming into town.
I think with the Christmas special,
Right. But, also that he didn't appear threatening, or he didn't give any reason why we should question him or the reason why he's there. And the fact that he has a dog and he was just sitting out there in the woods, like really minding his own business, made me think, like, okay, he's not a harmful man.
Well, and the way they portrayed him as well, they, had the bells and they made him, very friendly. It was very much like, okay, this is some kind of spirit of Christmas.
Okay. Did you notice every time that Sam the peddler came on screen, there was a whooshing bell sound?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So everybody in the chat room was agreeing and saying it's a nod to It's a Wonderful Life. The whole Bailey name, all that. That's the nod to it. I caught that also when I was watching it.
I didn't think about that, so that's a good one.
Yeah, is that funny? I caught also, and everybody kind of agrees that they all trusted him in the beginning. Everybody instantly trusted him.
Okay.
That's what kind of thing.
Well, since you're talking about the people in live chat, you want to give some shout outs?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, go ahead, James, because I'm waiting for my. I can't see anything yet.
Okay.
My chat isn't working.
Our sister in media is on there. Christy Spratland's in there, so she's in there. We met her at the Hardy's family reunion.
Yes.
Emily Johnson, S. Matthews, Rebecca Creswell, of course, Little Smiles, 86. I Heart Knit. Our girl Janette, who I now know what MSU means. I totally get it. That's our big joke.
What's up,
now that I know her, she's my bestie. And let's go back up. Lori Pearson, of course, is in there. Dan Fry. As I said, S. Matthews. Abriana Aguilar. I Am Jessie, who we met her when she was the Hardy thing too. She's in there. So we got about 50 people in here, so it's really nice.
Yes, welcome back, Hardys. We're very excited, and we met some of them at Hardy's family reunion in Vancouver, so which we'll get to hopefully if we have enough time. Okay, so we'll talk about the peddler and just really his interaction. And I think Maria, you said it. He's the one who pretty much got to bring everyone together in the community, which I loved, and he interacted with just about all of our main characters at one point, which I really enjoyed. But like his interaction with Jack, he said one of the best lines, good at helping people find what they're looking for, and which kind of resonated with like everybody else. Like Sam was able to let everyone do everything that like find their answers on their own, and that's what he was good at.
Yeah.
So
he did. They had him with, because they have a large cast, first of all. So I'm glad they spread him around. They talked a little bit about everybody, basically. He touched everybody, all the way from Cody all the way up. So I thought that was a nice touch that they did that.
Well, and I think that was, the purpose of of him being there. And with Jack, we saw it in a lot of different ways, because Jack was probably the one person, well, no, him and Bill, but he got to, he had the opportunity to question him and be like, I wonder why you are here. And, you know, the whole thing where he was put in jail, you know, that was Jack's decision.
Yes.
And I think Jack was able to, he just kept saying, you're hard to read. You're hard to read. And I think that was kind of for a reason, you know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because, you know, we still questioned him throughout the whole
Right,
episode.
exactly,
Because,
yeah.
like, yes, we questioned his intentions, but, you know, again, not a threatening man.
Right, but just kind of like, how is this going to work out? Because when he gets put in jail, part of me was like, did he take it to teach a lesson? Or was Rosemary the one who gave? Like, I was kind of wondering how it was going to play out. Or, you know.
And it played out so differently than we thought.
Yeah, it did. Excuse me.
So funny.
It certainly did. And then Sam also interacted with Frank, which I think was probably, well, me personally, was one of like a really good moment, one of my favorite moments in the episode. But when he's really just talking to Frank and he gives the Bible back to him, Frank's own personal Bible that he had in the penitentiary. I liked how it came full circle with Frank, and that his self-realization of where he came from in the past, where he is now. He found faith and he's a better man, and now he's going to help someone else, which brings us into the Frank and Nancy story. What were your thoughts on Nancy? I mean, overall, this is Christmas special, so you think it would be kind of happy, but this was kind of a somber storyline.
But think about, like, holidays sometimes do bring out sad parts in people. You know, it's like if you've had a loss of a loved one and you're at the holiday season, I mean, that is when you think of them. And when she, you know, was in this town that her husband brought her to, she just had too many memories of him that made her sad, but it made her son want to stay there because that was the way he held on to him. You know, so it's two people people deal with death and sadness and tragedy very differently. Everybody has their own ways of coping, and her way of trying to cope was to make it all go away and kind of like, you know, detach herself, whereas her son didn't want that. And that's obviously where Frank comes in. But I just think it's such a beautiful moment, I think, for people who are dealing with any kind of tragedy to watch that and maybe find, you know, a sense of hope. And I love the quote, or not the quote, the St. Francis prayer. Lord, it's almost gonna make me cry. I don't know if I can read it. Lord, let me be an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. And I mean, me personally, after just, you know, dealing with life and me listening to this and watching it over and over again, I was just like, let me be an instrument. I love that. It really stuck with me.
Yes. James, how
okay, so for me, I have to hold it together right now.
I know, me too.
Well, you know, I lost my brother, so it was the first holiday, and his birthday was 2 days ago too. So his first birthday this whole season without him. So when I saw Nancy's storyline, and what they were doing, and the scene that made me cry was when him and Harper are reciting the St. Francis prayer. I'm glad they included this. For some of us who are going through this loss, my family really had a hole this holiday season without my brother. So he was the life of the party. He would make gumbo. He would come in and do all these things. And so he wasn't here physically. I had mixed feelings for Christmas myself. So I wasn't as in despair as she was, but I could understand where she's coming from. And I'm glad they included that in this happy, whimsical kind of Christmas story. Because When It Comes to Heart does realism too, so it's kind of they do this, and so for me, it was hard to watch some of those scenes because I was crying for my own loss and understanding what she was going through. So anybody else out there who was going through it too, I'm sure they understood what I was going through also. So I'm glad they included it, and the actress did a great job, and Mark Humphreys, who plays Pastor Frank, did of course an amazing job. Yeah, I'm glad they included it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, me too. I think it gave it so much depth. Honestly.
Definitely. And yes. I'm glad they included this because it felt like it grounded the episode.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, we had our fun moments of happiness, but also you spread it out with realism. And I definitely think that particular story added to the realistic aspect and why it's so relatable for this show.
Right.
And all right. And then Sam also interacts with Cody. I thought this was a good lesson for Cody growing up. I was like, look at this little man. He has great teachers and people to look up towards, and who is teaching him all these lessons about life and how we treat others and how we think about others and do things for each other. But what did you think of Cody's storyline? He trades in his baseball that was signed by Doc Randall for the Bitty Betsy doll.
It's basically like my dream for my son. Like, all I want, I think, and as parents, all we want in life is for our children to turn out to be good people and to be happy people, and you know, to find value in life and to be a kind person. And when I watched that, I was just like, this is the hope for my son. You know, that was my interpretation of Cody. I loved it.
Yeah, I hope, you know, they always do a great job with the kids. And these episodes feature the kids heavily in a lot of stuff. And teaching them these lessons. And I think it's great. And I think with Cody, because he's kind of the lead kid, or lead boy kid on the show, I'm glad we're showing his development as he goes into young adult. I mean, he's getting older. He'll be a teenager, and he'll be getting older. And we're seeing his growth on the show. And his interaction with Bailey was the greatest, because he showed him how to give. Even though, like I said, I already got part of the play, I just feel like I want to do this for her. That was a very kid-like reaction. It seemed like it wasn't fake or phony. It felt like that's something a kid would think.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know why I want to do this. I just do. It's my conscience.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, because you have to remember, he's still a young kid who can grasp everything in the world, but he knows the concept of what it's like to treat others with kindness and being careful in that way. But I love really, if you think about it, he got to the Betsy doll on his own.
Bitty Betsy. She's like, I cannot say this.
Sorry, Hardy's. But he managed to do all this on his own. No one told him to do it. No one forced him to do it. It was like he managed to do this on his own, which I enjoyed.
Well, and I think it comes full circle, because like you just said, he's showing kindness, but because he's doing what he learned. So much kindness has been shown to him. So that's really how it comes full circle. You can, even if you're, this kind of goes back to the whole adoption thing. These might not be the people who gave birth to you, but they're still your parents.
Absolutely.
And so it's a village.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just with the one girl that he got the doll for. It was also Maggie and Opal with their tea party. He was just showing his kindness and thoughtfulness to everybody on his own. I loved it. And then, of course, he actually ends up with Dasher at the end.
I know, that was cute.
Yes, he did. I was hoping so. I hope so.
Yeah, but he didn't get the baseball back. Can I just say I was a little disappointed in that.
Really?
Everyone brings that up in the chapter too. We thought he'd get the ball back.
I'm like, get the kid his ball back. And then it was funny because Sam says to Abigail, "Are you sure there isn't anybody?" And I thought he was trying to push her to get the ball, and it turned into everything, for Gowan. But I was just like, you should have gotten the ball.
So what I was questioning, and maybe I just watched too many mystery movies.
It's a really good preface.
I was thinking, where did Lee get the ball? Because you see the ball at the beginning of the episode. Lee has it.
Well,
who gave the ball to Lee, though? Well, he said he picked it up in New York, but who gave the ball to Lee? Because we saw at the end of the episode when Sam throws the ball and ends up being fireworks. I wonder if it was Sam was the one who gave it to Lee, and it all just came full circle. I don't know. I thought too much about the ball.
Maybe.
Here's two things I thought were really interesting too with Bailey's interaction with Bill, of course, and ask him, "Do you play golf?" Which is Jack Wagner's an avid golfer.
He is a golfer.
That was a little inside joke.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Yes.
The chat room found it too. It's a nice little inside joke, so that was kind of fun.
Yes, I enjoy it. There was that quick moment where Abigail was like, "He's getting a baseball cap."
Yeah.
Not the dog, but he ultimately.
And I think that's how parents feel. We do so much, and it's just okay, he's getting this. He's getting a hat.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year.
And then he also, Sam the peddler, interacts with Abigail, which about the whole trade of what Cody did, but the humility and kindness.
Okay, this kind of comes to one of my favorite scenes. So this is prior to Abigail talking to Sam, but it is when she has the argument with Gowan in the saloon when she goes to saloon, and he says, I want to like find his exact quote, but he says that you are morally, where is my quote? Morally superior. You want to believe that you're morally superior to everyone. But the whole scene, what I thought was so good about the scene was the acting. And it wasn't necessarily like what, obviously like what he was saying, this and that, and it was added so much to the actual show. But I watched it, and, Abigail, Lori Loughlin, like she, like watching her act and her reaction, you could tell, like, I feel like when someone says that to you, you feel like, ow, that hurts. But their interaction, she's like, I think something about if you actually believe that we're done here. He's like, yeah, we are done. And it was just I wanted to watch the scene over and over again just because of the acting. Like,
Maria, I completely, sorry to cut you off, but
no,
I
it's
completely
fine.
agree with you.
Right?
The acting, and some of my favorite parts of this movie was the scenes between the two of them.
Yes.
And Lori, and Martin, who plays Gowan. They were so. The acting choices where he's sitting down, not facing her. The way he would turn, the way he would hold his stick, the cane. When he would get upset, he's getting up. He's like, "Well, I'm done." She's like, "You gonna listen to me whether you like it or not." I'm gonna say, the lines in her face of looking at him a certain way, and the lines in his face where he's like burrowed frown. He's upset, and she's just trying to get through to him. I forgot that they had a relationship in terms of. I forgot about the whole cafe was.
Yeah, he's like I cared about you. I cared about you. She goes, it was a business deal. Okay, I could like just dig into the scene. I'm like all excited.
Do you believe that though? Do you believe Gowan really cared about?
About Abigail? Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
She's a strong woman. It's one of those things. Men like him would like hardly ever admit it, but they admire strong women.
But he was so vulnerable.
I get that sense from him because remember he bullied her in the beginning in the first couple seasons. He was like just so bad. But I think he really liked her, and just never went that direction.
Yes. And
he did care. He said, "I cared about you after your husband died." I really believe that.
And he's like, and I really cared about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was just like, but yeah.
Sorry, but he's so vulnerable in that when he says that, when he actually comes out and says that, it's like that's him being vulnerable, which I thought was, in terms of writing, I was like, this is such a good scene.
I agree.
And I'm just like, okay, she has like the trifecta right now. I mean, she has Gowan, and she has Bill, and she has Frank. So like, what is, okay, maybe we save for predictions, but like what is going to happen?
My thing is, I want people to understand that, on show, people make sometimes they'll go, it's a Hallmark show, it's sappy, whatever. I should try to tell people there is good acting in there, and in this particular show, the acting on here sometimes it really blows us away. Sometimes there'll be a scene in an episode you're like, oh my god, that's really good. It just shows that Hallmark does produce good content, and it's also worthy of great acting and writing. And I agree, those scenes are just like great. It's funny you brought that up, Maria, because those are scenes I was like, those are some of my favorite scenes, or both arguments they had. It was like going back and forth, their acting choices, everything.
Yes, I loved it. It was great writing, great acting. One of my favorite scenes in this whole special was her second interaction with Gowan when she comes back after he just yelled at her and taking the high road. What were your thoughts
This is the third interaction. Yeah.
Third. They talked a few times in this episode.
Because the blowout was the second. That's what, I just watched it again right before this, so that's why it's fresh in my head.
Rick said numbers is not good.
Me and numbers, no. But what were your thoughts on Abigail coming back after being yelled by Gowan in the distasteful way that he did, but coming back and not being morally superior, but coming from a place of forgiveness and understanding?
Well, this is after she talked to Sam, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And see, that's sort of like the whole, like, guardian angel type of saint, like whatever we want to call, Sam in this episode. I think everybody interprets him differently based on your own experiences. So I think everyone has their own version of him. But I think that was sort of her star, if you will. Like, that was what I said in the top of the show. Everyone had their star. And I think for her, she found her star, one of her many stars, I feel like, in the show, but her star in the sense that she said to him, I need you. And I think that takes a big person to say that you need somebody. And I think she also, sees there's good in him. But that's a lot to, like, go there and say, we're here for you and I need you.
Yes, I'm here for I'm here for me, and I need you.
Yeah.
And this whole second chance for Christmas, chance to work together, second chance to start over, which I think this is hopefully for Gowan, not just a chance to start over with Abigail, but a chance to start over with everybody in the town.
Exactly.
Because Abigail's not the only one he's done wrong to.
I just think for me it was just the opening when she first walked in and said, I know why you came back. I get it. Now I get it. This is your home. This is where you have friends here. Like it was that real talk that was kind of, again, that permeated these episodes, where it's just like, now I get why you're just being pushy and being stubborn. And a lot of us men were like that. when we're hurting.
No way.
No, not at all. We're not like
never
that.
has happened to me in my life, ever.
Blasphemy.
Never.
So I get where he was coming from. He didn't want pity. He was feeling sorry for himself. And here's this, Abigail, is basically seemingly getting what he had. I get it. And I like that she took the high road and was like, I'm going to just talk to you, which is a good lesson for everybody in real life also.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to look at the big picture. And the big picture is she could really use his help.
Right. Yeah. So Jennifer Carter just said, keep the men busy. I'm sorry, I just thought it was so funny. Really, because if they have like no time, I mean, if they're like bored, if my husband has nothing to do, I'm like, find something. Like,
well, talk about men being busy.
Good
How
Lord.
about Bill? He's now busy.
Oh my God, that was I loved him so much in this episode when just one of the gentlemen of the town wanted to complain about his eggs, and he walked out with the rolling pin. I was like, I love you so much.
Hysterical.
It was so funny to me.
I hope you're not like that when people don't like your food.
I am Italian. What do you
fair.
think? No, I'm just kidding. But slightly.
My two Italians sitting there.
Yes.
I just think, for me, I want Bill to always be kind of the anti-hero. I want him to always have the edge.
Yes.
Like, okay, when calls to our people, do not kill it. Because he's so good at being kind and kind-hearted and being gruff. And I think this episode I love the gruff side.
I loved it.
Hilarious.
I loved it. I loved that he was Santa.
Yes.
I mean, and how they were all, the whole Santa thing was funny, and I loved the camaraderie of the men, that they showed them in the saloon, and they were doing the darts thing for who was going to be Santa, and just like the joking, but like, the brotherly love, if you will. But I just thought it was so perfect. I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And I also like, again, speaking of male friendships, we had Lee and Jack in there the whole episode. So I like that. They did a great job with that.
We'll definitely get into Jack and Elizabeth.
Yeah. Of course.
But yes, I mean, James, you brought up Lee, but how about Rosemary and Lee? They're back from their honeymoon. Rosemary.
Here's what's funny. So as you guys know out there, if you don't know already, I interviewed Pascal Hunt at the Wynn Concert Farm, and I get to talk to her. So it's funny because she explained to us kind of how she wanted to come on that episode and how they had to tone it down. So I was laughing watching the new episode, knowing what she wanted to do in real life. Right. I had a chuckle because it was kind of like, here she is, she's just waving, and it's like it was kind of subdued to what she really wanted to do. Watch the interview, a little shameless plug. Watch the interview.
I love her.
I love her so. I just love her character so much.
I do too, and you have to have. What did you call Bill? The anti-hero?
Anti-hero.
But she sort of is too, for like a woman version. Where she's sort of, I hate to say annoying, but like sort of like the annoying, like over the top personality, but you still have this like, and she says mean things to Elizabeth all of the time, but then she goes and does nice things. She's sort of like the woman version of Bill in a sense, and I just think it's hilarious. I love the stuff that comes out of her mouth. I'm just like, oh.
Okay, so I wrote down two of my favorite quotes were from her.
Okay.
The writers really stepped up.
Oh, I believe that too. Yeah.
Hilarious, the writing. So one of them, she said, the walls are paper thin at the row houses and your squeaky voice cuts like a knife. She said to Elizabeth, how she knew what she was going to the thing. And she made kind of like reference to her weight when it came to the dresses.
Taking out the waist and taking in
other
areas.
Places.
It was just like, and Erin in real life, her expressions when she
they're perfect.
So good.
They're perfect. It was so funny. But no, they really stepped up her, which I think is also timely, another timely thing. So you get married. So back then, you're expected to kind of take care of your husband. And that came up several times, like with these women. Can you do it all? Can you do it all? And with her, it was like, she had all this time on her hands now, overcompensating.
Right.
Well, she's not doing the Christmas committee anymore.
And the thing about Rosemary's character, I mean, I think she just has so much, as a woman, she could do everything. Like she could just, and she's used to kind of being that person where, she does the Christmas thing, she does this, she does that. And so, watching her try to like reel it in, and she's putting all of this towards, being a homemaker, it was pretty funny. I loved Lee's reaction. I mean, this is also what I've decided, because Marisa told me that I should bring this up, because like, who's your favorite man crush on the show? I'm like, I love Lee. I have the biggest crush on him. I just think he's such a sexy man.
They dress him. He is sexy. They dress him very well. I just think
he's quite handsome in real life.
Well, in real life, the actors have such great chemistry. On the show, it really comes through. And I just think you're right. Rosemary, she could go. Her character goes so far the other way where she could be unlikable, but she's so likable.
Then she goes and does nice things.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, she could do really good things, out of, the goodness of her heart. And she says, like, some, on the surface, it can be, like, mean statements. But it doesn't, it's not, like, dripped with disdain or, it's comes from a mean place or anything. And then so she does some good things. And then she does some questionable things, like finding that spider jewel and selling it to Sam the peddler and not being honest about it.
Right.
What were your thoughts about this whole storyline and like the lesson that she learned from this?
Well, I mean, it's exactly
Oh my goodness,
it was so bad.
I would freak out if that was on my.
I would totally rock that thing though. I have a brooch that it's not the same, but that my mom gave me. That was hers that she used to wear in like the 80s. It's like this wreath brooch, and I wear it around Christmas every year because I love it, because I think it's cool. And so if I had that, I would wear it.
If it was a spider
I would
jewel?
wear it.
Really?
At Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no other time of the year.
Just Halloween.
Okay.
Just Halloween.
I cannot do spiders. I grew up in the country. I cannot do spiders. Oof.
I just think one little side note I just want to say, it's funny that he mentioned he got it because Lady asked her. So like a little
that was funny.
Somebody who would be very popular in the papers and stuff, I'm sure. I mean, because you think of who, there wasn't supermodels back then or anything like that, or fashion police or anything.
Right.
So it's like, that was kind of funny. Did a little timely thing, and he said, "Oh yeah, Lady Astor has this. These things, they're all the rage." And but that thing was ugly. I was like, oh.
But something else that was
so
timely, James, was started to go off a little bit, was the lights that Rosemary had in their place. She was like, he was like, oh, no candles. She goes, welcome to Christmas in the 20th century. So that was really interesting, too.
Well, this is actually another interesting, I'm glad you brought that up, because during Hardy's family reunion, which was great, the set tour, when we actually went to the row houses and Rosemary's new place, that they mentioned that this house has electricity because they have money. Other people don't.
Of course, right.
So that's why their whole place was lit up with trees and lights, and where other people still have candles.
Right.
But they come from money.
Right.
Which that's an interesting thought. I would have never thought of it.
Oh, that was my first thought. That's why they had it. Because, I mean, everything was extravagant. She's like, oh, we're going to have the biggest house in town. And she went all, Christmas shopping every single day. They were, so I think that a lot of the, they subtly threw that in there, that they have, are very well well off, but without saying it to you. That was their way of doing it.
It's funny, Marisa, when you ask about the storyline, I thought it was just like, it was a little piece of hijinks. It's something that Rosemary would do, I think.
Of course.
Because her heart was in it. She was trying to spare her husband's, she didn't like it. And she didn't want to hurt his feelings. So, of course, she would steal it. Let him. It's just the hijinks that she would do.
Let him think that he lost it. Well, the thing is, I mean, she didn't do it just to be mean, because she loves Lee, and obviously it was a really nice gesture on Lee's part. But she didn't expect for the spider to come back, and now she has to deal with it. Which I really like this, because that forced her to realize her ways, and what she did was ultimately wrong. And then she received the spider with, delight. Surprise and delighted.
But I love the scene of Sam, because that goes, back to Jack, where Jack's doing his job, and but Sam doesn't out her. He lets her find her truth and find her star and come out and tell him. And I think that was obviously a good moment. But when he's in the jail and he says to Jack, he's like, it's funny how. So what does he say about plans? They basically sometimes they just don't work out. I have the quote somewhere in here, but it's about plans not working out the way you expect them to. But sometimes it's for the best, and that's kind of like he's like, think about it. About an hour or so ago, I was out in the cold, and look, I'm in here. I have a hot meal, nice warm place to sleep. It's funny how things work out. And it's funny how they do and how they don't.
It's very
I just thought it was a little piece of hijinks. She wasn't trying to hurt his feelings, like you said. It was just kind of like. Of course, you go to do this whole over-the-top thing where he make him think he lost it, and of course, and he had to find. I think it also they had to link a way to get Sam Bailey in jail for a reason. So they had to link it somehow. So you might think he might distrust him. Maybe he is bad,
right?
And we found he wasn't. I think they had to link that somehow, and that was a good way. That's a good way of doing it. It was fine.
Oh, I think so too.
I think the link was Jack.
Yeah.
Because Jack was the one who had to help resolve everything, and we'll definitely get into Elizabeth and Jack. Don't you worry, Hearties. We're getting there. We're saving the best for last. But Jack, James, you're killing me. Your laugh is awesome. Okay, but yes, Elizabeth and Jack at the beginning of the episode, and how they come together. Maria,
I'm sorry. I'm mad.
Why are you mad?
Because it was such a tease.
Let us know. Yes.
It was such a tease. A couple of times. I'm just like, okay,
Christmas
you can go
tree?
ahead and finish, and then I will rant about it.
No, I think you're there. So at the beginning of the episode, they're together again, and they're going Christmas tree
shopping.
Chopping down the Christmas tree. That's where they run into Sam. But while they're decorating at night, yes, the biggest tease. So mean.
Oh my gosh, it was so mean. Well, even prior to that, like when he was talking to Bill, he was like, I want to make this Christmas extra special and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is it going to happen? And then he's on his knee in front of the tree. I'm like, just ask. Yeah. Like, we're all here. We're all here. Just do it. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen.
And it was in the midst of, literally the lines, do me the great honor of what? Of marrying me?
And you can tell her, her heart's racing.
Yeah.
Here's what's funny. So we have 63 people watching right now. We had about 70 at one point, so thank you everybody for watching. Everybody in here is kind of saying that Elizabeth and Jack were the small part of this episode. Like they didn't really have a storyline that was enough.
Really?
So I don't know how you guys feel about that. They were on obviously the whole time, but they didn't really have. They were doing other things, I guess.
You know what? I can understand that why people are saying that. But you know what? I'm actually okay with it because that means in future episodes down the line, we're going to have bigger storylines with them.
I think so too. So
a little bit now, bigger things for later.
Okay,
so just be patient.
Wait, hold on. Lil Smiles 86 says Mountie molasses.
Slow as molasses.
That is funny. No, but here's the thing. Maybe they did play a small part, but for me, they are the through line for the whole purpose of the show. They're the ones who make the whole Christmas really happen. Mm-hmm. It's like that scene when they're in that in the saloon and they're all collaborating to how to save Christmas, and they're the ones who choose to put that's the selflessness. They could have gotten dressed up and had this magical night together of, elegance.
To the Mountie
Something
ball.
you don't normally, she didn't had 2 years since she's gotten a dress, and, it was just really, it was supposed to be something very special, and they put their relationship and their special time aside for the town, and it was really them who caused all of these things to happen. You got the toys and then the houses, and it was really, they were the big picture of all the small things that really shine in front of them.
They're the big thread that keeps everybody together.
That's
a lot of people in the chat room are agreeing with you, Maria. They're saying that they are the glue episode together. Mm-hmm. It was more about the ensemble. It was more showing community
Which
kindness.
I liked, though.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I'm skipping ahead just for a second. Elizabeth's dress was everything.
Everything.
That Mountie ball was
everything.
I loved whoever that designer was. I loved that dress.
And personally, I was disappointed when they weren't going. I was like, I really wanted to see that dress.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, I was somebody they showed it. I was like, it was so beautiful. Like it's just so beautiful. She's beautiful anyway, but it's like the dress itself was
it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. Literally in my notes it says holy gorgeous dress. All caps. Yes. Yes.
I like that. I just wrote, her
gorgeous.
dress gave me life. That's what I wrote. Her dress gave me life.
Amazing. And I was
yeah.
thinking, like, I don't care if it was historically inaccurate with the
I don't
fashion
care.
times back then, but that was gorgeous.
Yeah, we don't care.
Modern dress.
We don't care.
We don't care.
Yes. Well, the ball was gorgeous at the end because they did ultimately. I mean, James, you brought it up, but they didn't have their Mountie ball, but they had the makeshift ball at the end where they were waltzing.
And Jesse helped.
Yes.
My boy Jesse helped. He helped.
You gotta bring it up. Jesse helped.
He's a good person. He helped.
He's going on me.
I like it. I think he's so cute with his long hair that's slicked
His
back.
long hair.
Yeah,
Really
long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met Aaron Buckles at.
I
the
heard. Don't make me jealous.
Yes. He made me rethink Jesse. All right, Hardees.
All right.
He made me rethink Jesse.
Jesse has a whole season in front of him. So.
Yes, he does. And I'm hoping he grows up.
Okay, well, you can save that for the
Matures.
predictions.
Yes, yes. That was an awesome.
But I think Jack, for me, Jack and Elizabeth, they were the through line of the episode. We saw things through them. They were involved in many different things. They were handing out lessons. They were helping people. It was to me, it's fine. I mean, again, it's just all tease. The whole Christmas special is a tease for season 4. Like I want the new next episode to come out like tomorrow. Like I'm ready for the season to start. I mean, the whole episode was that. I want the season to start now.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And you know they're just great to watch together. They have such chemistry on screen.
They do.
Every time they come together, even if it's for like a fleeting moment on the street, saying hello or goodbye to each other, and waltzing in the street, that was fun. And I love how PDAs are not an issue with them.
No, not at all.
No, they had a very nice kiss, and
they did.
Abigail and Frank had a very,
They had one. Yeah.
very
Yes, they did.
unexpectedly
Yes.
long, passionate. Thank you. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking
Come on,
for?
girl. Passionate.
I was gonna say intimate. I'm like, that's not really what they're looking for.
And Lee and
Words
Rosemary
are
had
hard
their
sometimes.
kiss too. Yes, words
Yes,
are hard.
and then they had their kiss. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like our 3 main couples of the show got their moments, which I loved. Absolutely loved.
They're trying to think of a hashtag. Okay, Lisa's trying to think of a hashtag for you and Jesse. It says Jarissa or Marissa. Oh, that is
JJ,
funny.
Team JJ. Done.
Jake, that's right. There you go.
There you go. You're welcome. All right. But Maria, you brought something up and how like the lessons of kindness. Bringing up Elizabeth and what she did with the Hope Valley kids, with the whole nativity pageant, which I thought this was great. Every time we see those Hardy kids, oh my goodness, I call them Hardys, but you know the Hope Valley kids, they're so cute,
They are
so
cute.
stinking cute.
They're also good little actors too. They're also good
They
little actors.
are, but okay, so this nativity pageant, everyone will get parts. There's no additions, but everyone will get parts for showing the most Christmas spirit by being kind and caring, which, you know, really sets off, you know, Cody on his storyline and Hattie and Emily on theirs, and Anna, Anna and Hattie on theirs for, you know, they both want to be married, but they end up ultimately giving the role to Emily. No, not Emily. All these names. I'm sorry.
I know. There's all these names. Yeah.
Ruby. Ruby. I got it.
I would have believed you.
Yes.
Just say with confidence.
Anna and Hattie giving Ruby the part of Mary. Names.
All right,
There you go.
words are hard.
Words are hard. This is live, you guys. But what did you think of this? Even these two coming together and learning, you know, like their lesson in life.
Well, and I think it sort of goes back to the same with Cody. It's really just what do you want to teach your kids about Christmas? Is Christmas about presents? Is Christmas about getting the lead role? Like, what is it about? And like I said, as a parent, you know, all you want in life is for your kids to be good people, to be kind. And I think that is the best lesson that you can teach them. And so that was a really great way. And, you know, it's sort of like the overall message of, you know, when things don't turn out the way you want them, or, you know, tragedy hits, or whatever it is, like when you hit you know, the
Wall.
That's why words are so hard today. No, like a fork in a road, or so you hit something that's hard, basically, and you know, you have to make a decision, or you have to survive, or you have to, you know, granted the kids were so looking forward to their new costumes and this and that, but look what they got instead after everybody came together, this overall sense of community. I mean, there's so much more from that instead of just getting something in the mail. You know what I mean? And I think that was just such a great message to them.
Yes, James.
I agree. I think the messages that they always give these kids every season is always welcome, and that's why I like my grandkids to watch the show for that, because they get these little lessons that they just don't get every day out there these days. That it's bigger. You have your best. They taught lessons on friendship to the kids. When the girl says, well, we're like being friends better than this whole competition thing. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to say, because kids need to learn that. These are lifelong lessons too. That friendships always come above external stuff.
Right.
And I like that. I think it's such a great lesson.
Yeah.
Friendship is such an important thing for kids to learn about, because it's about that selflessness, and it's something that, James, as you know, like when you do hit tragedy in your life, I think the biggest silver lining of something that's tragic in your life is the amount of people that you realize you have in your life, and the people who reach out, and the people who, and at the end of the day, like, you can have a house full of a bajillion things, but if you don't have friends, like, you don't have anything.
I agree. I totally agree with you. I second that emotion. That it's funny. I've had to rely on my friends very heavily the last months or so, but it's good to learn that. You have to learn that young. I've always had good friendships. It's something I've cultivated since I was a child, and I have friends that I've had for 30 years. So I've always had really good friendships, and when they go south or things go bad, which happens sometimes, you're like, okay, but at least I had a foundation where I learned what friendship is and what it can mean.
Right, exactly.
And you gotta start young. And you want the kids tonight. So I'm glad on this show they're showing the kids every season. They're just showing them learning how to be little people and how this works. And I thought it was another great thing under the guise of Christmas and the whole nativity thing. I thought it was a great addition.
Well, and it's even like the friendships of the Hardy community. Like, there's people all over the country, and there's this community that's created of friendship over a common love, if you will, and a common thought, and this thing that brings us together. And there's something bigger, that's bringing everybody together, which is what I think is so interesting. That's the overall, I think, message.
Yes, friends. I mean, we've created a lot of friends from the Hardy's community.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Hardy's are great.
Yes.
I love, the whole message of Christmas kindness, and I love how that Kindness Week got upgraded to Christmas kindness.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Kindness.
And then. Yeah, it was just great seeing the kids again, and hopefully we know there's going to be more big kid storylines in season 4 throughout, so things to look forward to. Yes,
it makes me nervous.
Things to look forward to.
I'm going to cry. I'm sure I'm going to cry probably like a baby several times a season, because these kids, they always pull them out every season. They do a good kid storyline, makes you cry every season.
Yep, absolutely.
That's when you know it's a good show.
Absolutely. And we see the town come together to put on a great Christmas for the kids and for themselves, but for the kids and how they come together.
Really for the kids, yeah.
For the kids. I mean, what I have in my notes here, I called it Operation Save Christmas.
I'm going to disagree with you guys and say it wasn't just for the kids. It was for even the adults. Sometimes they have to be reminded.
Yeah, it was for everybody.
But think about, like, kids are so great about, like, bringing people together for, like, this common cause. And I think, like, for me, my son, seeing Christmas through his eyes is so, and James, you have kids, you have grandkids, like, seeing it through their eyes is so spectacular.
Yes.
And so, although it's, like, for them, like you said, it really is, you get the enjoyment, though the toys are for them and the things for them, but, like, as a parent, you get a present that you can't really even explain what it is, just like seeing it.
Because see, the town, when they had the town meeting, the town was like ready to give up. And it's like, and as adults, sometimes we easily will just do that. Because we think logical sometimes.
Yeah.
And we think, well, it's not going to work out. The presents are coming, so, like, done. Like, no, there's more to this. We have to really remember what this whole kind of day is about. And in a way, it was kind of for the kids. But I see they all kind of got re-energized through this village movement, which, me in the village, this movement, they all came together. And I have to say this one thing, you guys, that made me so excited. There's a black person in Hope Valley. I was like, where did he come from?
Diversity!
Yes.
His name is George. He's a welder, and he's going to fix the oven so they can make the food. I was like, oh my God, it's Michael George. Great. I could be in the party. I could be on the show one day. Oh my God, it's crazy.
There you go. No, seriously, diversity. I think it's a big step for the time period.
Like, oh my God. Well,
Yes,
probably
I
my
think it's
brother, not
great.
my uncle, but whatever. Okay. I love that.
I'm glad you bring that up because I hope that's like another storyline that like gets involved into the show. I mean, we're reading the books, the When Calls the Heart series, and we know that back then in that time that they also interacted with a lot of the Native Americans in that area. So like, I'd love to see a story on that.
I would love to see that.
They're in that.
That's funny you say that because I was thinking about that. I thought about us in our book series. But I was thinking when I saw the black person, I was like, the book series is so different because it really does talk about language and all stuff mixed in with the community stuff that's going on. And the show hasn't really went that direction. It's a separate kind of storyline. But I thought, it'd be interesting if they did some of that actually on the program a little bit.
We should have a meeting with the writers.
We're
available.
Writers, if you're listening.
We have time.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see. And he was a welder, and he was going to work it out, and he made so you could have food. Like, that's right.
Yes,
I
Operation Save Christmas. So, like, everyone coming together. Yost has an old stove that the settling family can come in. People are building apartments. Bill will cook for dinner for over 100 people. Dottie will do the costumes. Everyone comes together to stage the saloon for the nativity pageant. Lee's wood scraps can be built for toys for the kids. Hickam is an architect. Who knew?
Yeah, so funny. I know who knew that. I was like, oh my God, like, okay.
Yeah, everyone's talking about Hickam needs to be doing something more. He's an architect, you guys. And then, George Edwards is a blacksmith. There you go. Hey, he's artistic. I'm all for that. So, and I did love how everyone, came together, worked through the night, literally burned the midnight oil, and made it happen.
How funny was Bill? Like, when Abigail went back to the cafe, and he, like, had this coffee, and he was, like, he's like, this made me stay up for 3 days. I was like, I love you so much. We should be friends. And I want some of that coffee.
Yes. I love that. And his secret weapon, which is a special blend, which he used when he tracked Billy the Kid back in those days. So, Jack,
is
that a story we'll see? Is that a story we'll see? That'd be nice. I really enjoyed it. And Operation Save Christmas, and of course the kids all had a great Christmas at the end. They all received the presents, and it was just so good to see everybody's face light up.
Yeah, and Harper came back, and everything was resolved.
Harper came back.
I know, and what I thought was really sweet and made me tear up was the faces of them getting into their homes, because I think sometimes we don't really realize how important home is and having a place to call your home. I think it means so much as like a family, a place to grow, and I just think that was a moment for me.
Oh, no, I understand. I know because in the beginning it was about the Lawsons. They were kind of the family that were kind of focused on a little bit about having a home, and we had that one little scary moment where Jack saves Jesse and Lee from the falling beam.
Yes.
That was a little dizzy.
That was
like,
interesting.
Please, no major storyline where one of them gets hurt. I was like, no, please, no.
I thought someone was going to get hurt. I'm not going to lie. When it was happening, I was like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I really did.
I know. I was worried. I was like, at least we got the, life-threatening situation out of the way.
Yes, exactly.
So we're good for the rest of the season.
I did think it was going to happen. I'm not going to lie.
The near-death experience is now out of the way. But, that added to why everyone had to work, double time, because it put them back in their schedule. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Is there anything else about this episode?
Well, I think you need to share some pictures.
Okay.
Because I really think it's important to do.
I want to give a special little shout out to Melissa Langley, who's on Twitter, who's been live tweeting us.
That is what is vibrating. I have my phone. Yes. I'm sitting on my phone.
Shout out,
and
Hardee's.
And it's like,
Go.
Thank you.
Shout out to the Hardee's. Yeah. Read some names.
But go ahead. No, go ahead, James. Yeah, because that was making my butt vibrate this whole time.
So Nicole's in here. Let's see. Let me go up a little bit. Joyce Keeler, our girl Joyce, is in here.
Joyce. Hi, Joyce.
Of course. Lisa Gupton's in here. She's in here too. We know her. Let's say this name here. Jennifer Carter. Hello, Jennifer Carter. I'm glad you're watching. We have 66 people watching right now. It's so wonderful. I'm glad you guys are taking the time to sit with us.
Yes.
And Michelle DeRose Mick, my girl, she is on right now. So some little shout outs.
Yeah, we met a lot of these people at Hardy Family Reunion.
We did. So now I know who they are. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy.
Yes. Speaking of HFR2 in Vancouver, which was amazing. Honestly,
oh my God,
it was the best weekend ever. Like,
I agree. I totally agree.
That totally topped off my 2016 year. And it was great meeting everybody at the reunion. We got interviews with, Erin and Daniel and Lori and Pascal, and a new guy coming in. We had Paul Green. He's going to play Carson.
Yes.
And we got interviews with him. Go check out our interviews. They're available on YouTube.
Yes, they are.
YouTube,
They're good.
AfterBuzz TV.
And I just want to say, we got to meet some of the other people we didn't get a chance to, interview. They'll get to meet them.
Yes.
And I mean, like, Mark Humphreys gives her good hugs.
Amazing
He's super
hug.
tall.
Amazing
Super
hug.
tall, taller than me, and gives good hugs.
I love when people can give good hugs.
Me too. You know, I feel how I feel about that.
Yes.
I love that. So he gave a really good hug.
We met Andrea K. Brooks, who plays Faith. We also met Eva Bourne, who plays Clara. We're working on.
I think Claire's adorable.
She's so pretty.
Adorable.
She's so adorable.
Yes.
And we met Carter Ivancic, and of course his whole family was the best.
Yes.
His family's the best.
We met Carter
Yeah.
and his parents.
Okay.
They're the best.
Love to get Carter on our show
And brag more. Keep bragging.
That's for everybody. That's for everybody.
I'm just kidding.
completely.
Yes. Your absence was definitely felt there,
It was
Maria.
felt. It was felt.
But yeah, one of the great things about Hardy's family reunion is that we also got to go to the set. Well, I did. James didn't.
Yeah.
James, calling you out.
I
But
had to go. Had to go.
I took a lot of photos. I haven't posted them yet. But there's some great places of the actual Hope Valley set in Langley. For all those who are tuning in on iTunes, you can definitely tune into YouTube on our video end and check out some of these photos that are posted here. This is the church. The church.
So it's an
school.
actual big church.
It's an
It's an
actual-
actual
yes.
building. You go in there, it's a church.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't post the interior, but it's an actual building where you can go in and they push the walls back a little bit.
Okay.
All the sets here at, are practical, which means
Wow.
you can walk in.
It's like Home and Family.
Actually, yes, very
Wow.
much so. This is the office, I believe.
Gowan, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
Gowan.
I recognize the green walls because I always, whenever she goes in there, I'm just like, God, it looks so rich.
Yes. So this is Gowan's office, and keep going. This is the saloon. That's the
Nice.
bar. Yeah. Keep moving along, and then remember the amazing, emotional, and pivotal scene at the season 3 finale on the bed, where Jack is lying in the bed and Elizabeth is pouring her heart out to him.
Oh, yeah, tears.
This is the scene where they
Tears.
filmed it, which is, I was like, oh, memories. And then of course this is Abigail's place
Okay,
with the couch
got it.
and everything. It's really cool. Sorry, these are iPhone
how beautiful that
pictures.
is, though.
So it's gorgeous. This, and believe me, this is there's no filters on these pictures. Like Vancouver is gorgeous, you guys, and that's the whole
is.
outside pan photo of the whole area outside. It was gorgeous. It was a nice day too. The sun came out. Yeah, it was really fun, and then we saw a lot of cool places. We got to walk around the whole town.
It's so beautiful. And, I was actually thinking that I have in my notes that at the top of the show, when she's writing in her journal, and they show all these, there's some more pictures. But when they show the footage of, horses running around and, just the landscape there, it's just so breathtaking.
It is, and we see the water tower, the Hope Valley water tower. It's a lot shorter than you think it is.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it was really neat. And this is Elizabeth's home.
Gotcha.
This is her area.
Nice.
That's where she, writes her stories and all that.
Yes.
It was really fun. I'll post the photos somewhere. Yost Mercantile. We saw the outside. It was really neat. We got to walk in, and we even got to walk into the jail. We saw the jail.
Oh my God, how did you not take pictures in the jail?
I took photos. Yes, there's a jail
Yeah,
photo.
but you gotta get yourself in there and be behind the bar.
Oh, no,
This is why you guys
Right,
needed me there for silly pictures that I probably would have gotten kicked out for.
A lot of these sets were
I was gonna say, don't touch the set.
Yes.
I would have
Taped off.
crawled under.
Well, the interesting thing is there are some actual antiques. A lot of
Oh,
the
that's
things that
cool.
they touch are actual
Okay.
aged, and you don't want to break them or touch them or ruin them or anything.
Got it. Okay.
So
That gives it a little bit more meaning.
So if you think about it, there was a lot of foot traffic with all the Hardys going to the set. They don't want anyone destroying anything, which I completely understand. But that was fun. I'll post the photos somewhere. I'll post all of them.
Somewhere.
I got to get it together.
Do you put them on your Instagram?
I could. I posted some on Instagram.
Oh, Lord help.
I'm not the greatest on social media,
I just
guys.
answered the question for you. You're like,
Like, I'll think about it.
I'll think about
I'll
it.
think about it. But, there are other photographers who have higher quality photos than mine. So, but that was just for me, for my own personal pleasure. But yeah, I think that takes us into predictions then.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Lights are back. Yes. Maria.
oh my gosh, I knew you were going to start with me.
That was a big breath of yours. So yes.
I honestly have no idea where to begin.
Really?
No, I really don't. I feel like there's so much to like. We got a big road ahead of us with this season. But I guess my first initial thought is what is going to happen with Abigail and her trifecta of men. What's going to happen with Gowan. I don't know if I have a prediction, but I feel like there's going to be something with Gowan, whether he tries to, I don't know, get her to like him kind of thing. I don't know. I think that'd be very interesting because what's going to happen in the next step with Bill, or Frank, like what's going to happen with Frank. I don't know what to think. I literally, it's like there's three and I got nothing. But there's something that's going to happen. That's our prediction number one.
Okay.
Prediction number two, there better be an engagement. That's all I have to say about that. There better be an engagement, or else I'm going to be I'm going to write a very stern letter to Hallmark and Papa
to the writers. You can pop over there. Burbank's right next to us.
I know. I was just passing
The
it today.
writers are right there.
They are. Those are my two predictions. I feel like I have nothing. I don't know what to expect. We saw the fire in one of the buildings. In one of the. Do you remember seeing that in a preview? In the preview, there was a building that was on fire, and Bill was like running towards it. Yeah. So I'm just. I don't have a prediction for it, but I saw that happen. I'm very curious what the Hardys have as predictions too. But James, what do you have for your predictions?
Hardys, what are your predictions? James, go.
So I don't think Jack and Elizabeth are going to get engaged this season. I'm sorry about it. I think they are.
Bite your tongue.
I think it's going to be another long, just kind of courtship. They're finding out about each other. I think Jack will go through a mini crisis of employment of like what he wants to do. Does he want to stay a Mountie or not?
Oh, yes.
Well,
we saw in the preview.
That's right.
We saw in the preview somebody comes about his job.
Well, and a teacher comes in to the town.
What the
to take
heck?
Elizabeth's job.
Heck no.
I honestly don't have a prediction. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be some stuff. I think there'll be some more character development between the two of them, like almost separately. Like that's going to be happening this whole season of what that means. Because she's like, I've been here 3 years now. This is my new home. I think it's going to be more development of Jack as a Mountie and as a man, and as Elizabeth the teacher as a woman. I think the engagements will be. I think Frank and Abigail might get engaged. I think that's going to be the big engagement, and I think it's going to be a Jesse and Clara courtship.
Would people hate me?
I think that's already started.
Would people hate me if I said that I like Abigail with Bill or Gowan better than I like her with Frank?
What? I don't hate you.
Blasphemy.
I don't hate you, Maria. I can never hate you.
It's not that I don't like Frank. It's not that I don't like Frank. I do. I think I would like her with all of them. But I feel like
you like her with them more.
I feel like they'd light some kind of fire in her a little bit more.
Interesting. Okay.
I know. I just scared the fans that are watching. I'm scaring. I know I'm scaring you guys. I know, but that's just my prediction.
Okay.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right, Marisa.
But
All right.
And see, my thing is, for me, I'm okay with it because then you open the next season, then it has to happen by next season. I'm like, let's develop them
That's
more.
how I felt about last season. It's gotta happen. Okay, Marisa.
Okay. My prediction. It's hard to follow you too because those are good.
Mine was confusing.
In mine, I put something big, parentheses, tragic, is going to happen to Elizabeth.
Ooh.
I'm like, it's
kind of like
very
how it
dark.
happened to Jack.
It's very dark. If you think about it.
Okay.
If you think about it, something happens in season 1. And, something sad happens. Jack has to go away, and then he comes back. And she was held hostage. And season 2, Jack season 3, Jack was in the end of the river. He had a near-death experience. Something big happened to him. I think it's just that balance of something big and tragic and dramatic has to happen to Elizabeth. I don't know what it is, whether it be a death in the family, something happens to her, God forbid. But I just think something's gonna happen to her. Is going to happen to Elizabeth. That's all. It's very vague, but something tragic is going to happen. I think the proposal. I think we are going to see a proposal at the end of the season.
So who? Because everyone in the chat is like, Maria, who's engagement? I'm talking about Jack and Elizabeth.
Yes.
But Lisa's mad at me now. I'm sorry.
I think it's one of those things like, everybody watched Cheers. It was Sam and Diane. Everybody watched Moonlighting. It was bad. They always they throw all these things out sometimes because it's for dramatic effects.
Yeah,
I feel like
took them forever for Sam and Diane.
Mad at me, you guys. I'm sorry.
No. That's your opinion. That's your thought. That's totally fair. That's why we're here.
By people, they're all looking at me telling me crazy. I'm standing by mine. I'm just saying that it's just television. I think it's going to be. They want the show to go on for a long time, so I think they're going to continue to kind of keep it. If they get engaged, or maybe they feel like it won't work. That means so fast. I don't know. I just think it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be Abigail and Frank or something.
There was a prediction. I want to find it. I think it was Michelle.
You know how frustrating that would be to see two relationships get engaged and proposed and married. That's the same thing. And
I'm glad you caught that, though.
Proposed and and married.
Yeah.
Two different relationships that aren't Jack and Elizabeth, who's been together since technically season 1. So I think at the end of this season, we'll finally get their proposal. Yes, Maria, calling on you.
Okay, Michelle said prediction: Jack gets his own station. Elizabeth has a replacement already, and they can move into a different area, but they both love Hope Valley. So that was a prediction of one of the Hardys.
And I'm just, that's interesting. And thinking of the times back then, Mounties, quote unquote, don't really marry yet. So they have to marry in order to move. I don't think have to, but I think that would.
Well, I think at that time
that would get the ball rolling.
Well, they're not going to live together.
Well, if they're not married, Jack's not going to bring Elizabeth with him because they're technically not married. Therefore, he's not obligated to bring someone with him if moving a post, because he's technically still single in the laws of employment.
Yeah. But you guys have to remember, we have a new character coming on who's going to turn things up apparently, and that's Paul Green's character.
Yes.
So
there's a new teacher, and then
get a little scared.
Yeah, a new teacher, and then the new guy.
Yes. So get a little scared. I'm saying everybody just kind of get ready. I mean, if they got engaged, Jack and Elizabeth got engaged this season, I'd be happy. I'm totally happy. I just have a feeling there'll be some more drama first before we get there.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be an intense season. I think they've built it up so there's a lot of depth with these characters, and I think there's just going to be. It was funny. Someone I have to find it again, but someone had said something about like it's going to turn into Lifetime when Marisa was saying it.
And I love Lifetime, you guys. So Hallmark and Lifetime.
No,
it's like
now wait a minute. Isn't there 10 episodes a season?
10. Yes, there's. This is considered the first 2 episodes of season 4.
No, it's 10. So it's 10. I thought it was 10.
Episodes.
So it's like 12, but it's only 10. So it's 10 in total. So we have 8 more. Okay.
It's 10. Brian Bird has confirmed that the season has 10.
Oh, okay.
We have technically covered 2. We have 8 more, which leads me to an announcement that season 4 begins February 19th, premieres. Yes, everyone. And we will be back February 20th.
At 5 o'clock
at
Pacific
5 o'clock
Coast time.
On Mondays, Hardies. We will be back for season 4 Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like our normal selves.
Like our normal selves.
We do it for you guys. We're really excited. So overall, I love this. It's the perfect start to season 4.
It made me happy.
Yes, it made me happy. All right. In the meantime, where can everyone keep following you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Maria Provenzano, and all of my information will be there.
And James?
Okay, really quickly, everybody says no. There's 10 more episodes after this.
What? Okay, I'm not complaining.
Brian said there's 10 after this movie.
Really?
That's what Christy and all them were saying. Everybody said there's 10 more.
Well, you guys know I can't do numbers, so there you go.
Either way, I'm James Lott Jr., you guys, and I'm on the road, so I'm everywhere. You can follow my adventures at James Lott Jr. on every single social media platform in the earth.
Great. And you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Rate, comment, subscribe. YouTube, iTunes. We are on iTunes.
Thumbs
Give
up.
us some ratings there too. Spread the love. We're excited to be covering the show. Once again, you Hearties will always be in our hearts.
Aw.
And never stop talking to us, because
Yes.
we will never
We
stop
love you guys.
talking to you.
Yeah, we do. We do love you guys.
Thank you, Hearties, and we will be back February 20th.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you
See you
later.
later.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.